Let us see O. Henry's short story, The Gift of the Magi. And this story, The Gift of the Magi, written by O. Henry and William Sidney Porter, better known by his pen name O. Henry, an American writer and primarily known for his short stories. And Porter's stories are known for their naturalistic observations, witty narration, and surprise endings. And his famous works are The Skylight Room and The Cop and the Anthem, After 20 Years, $1,000, and The Lost Leaf. The story was initially published in the New York World under the title Gift of the Magi on December 10, 1905. The Gift of the Magi tells the story of a young husband and wife and how they deal with the challenge of buying secret Christmas gifts for each other with very little money. And the main characters in this short story are and James, and is called as Jim, James Dillingham Young, 22 years old young fellow, and Della Dillingham Young, and obviously Jim's wife, and Sophrony, the owner and the proprietor of a hair goods shop. And this story, The Gift of the Magi, and begins with the day before Christmas with a young woman named Della sitting at home counting her savings. The home she lives in with her husband and Jim is a cheap furnished rental apartment, and these are the atmosphere as seems to be there. And Della counts $1.87, and this amount she has saved by living in a miserly manner by bargaining with the grocer and vegetable man and the butcher. And Della is so disappointed with her savings because next day will be Christmas. She dropped down on the couch in despair and cried. And their home is a poorly furnished flat which cost them $8 a week. That is the rent. And another, a letter box too small to hold a letter. And these are the things are and expose the couple's poverty stricken state. And another, there was an electric bell, but it could not make a sound. And Jim and Della don't have adequate clothing for the winter also. And Jim had nothing to cover his cold hands, and both looked very thin. These are the things are and expose the couple's poverty-stricken state here. His income had come down from $30 per week to $20, but still Della's love for her husband was as great as ever. And there was a name beside the door, Mr. James Dillingham Young. And here, the author exposed the two treasured possessions of them. That is, the James Dillingham Youngs, and were very proud of two things which they owned. They are very proud of the things, particularly two things. They considered to be the treasured possessions and proudest possessions. That is called, one thing was Jim's gold watch. The other thing was Della's hair, because and that a gold watch, it had once belonged to his father, and long ago it had belonged to his father's father, and Jim regarded his gold watch more valuable than the treasures of King Solomon. The other thing was Della's long and beautiful hair. Della considered her brown rippling hair richer than all the jewels of the Queen of Sheba. And uh, and here the author exposed Della's love for Jim. And Della whirled from the window and stood before the pier glass. Her eyes shone and her face lost the color. And she pulled down her hair, which fell to its full length. It reached below her knee and made itself almost a garment for her. She made up her mind, and she decides to cut her hair and sell it to buy Jim a present. While Jim is at work, Jella put on her old brown jacket and old brown hat. She rushed out of home and arrived at the shop of Madame Safroni. And she is Madame Safroni is a hair goods of all kinds. She offers $20 for her long hair. After her haircut, Della shops for 2 hours. She was going from one shop to another and looking for the perfect gift for Jim. At last, she came by a platinum fob chain that was worthy of Jim's gold watch. It cost her $21, and it was like him and quietness and value. And Jim and the chain both had quietness and value, and Jella things like that. She paid $21 for it, and she hurried home with the chain and 87 cents, remaining 87 cents. And he'll say, I look like a girl who sings and dances for money. And Shella waits anxiously for Jim's return that evening and afraid that he will no longer think that she is pretty. She is also and got a worry about his appearance. And please, God, make him think I am still pretty. She prays to God for these things. And let us see the couple's sacrifice. And Jim enters. Jim's eyes fell on Della, and he is very shocked, very much shocked to see Della. He kept staring at her with a peculiar expression on his face. It was not anger, nor surprise, nor anything she had been ready for. She could not understand what type of expression is that. Della was totally terrified. Della tried to comfort him by explaining that she had sold her hair to buy him a present and assures him that her hair will grow back. To explain his strange reaction, Jim hands Della a package. And Della opened the package quickly and excitedly, and she was at first screamed in joy and then she broke into tears because the package contained a beautiful set of combs made of tortoise shell. She had admired many times in the store window but never hoped to own because of how expensive they were. Della excitedly hands Jim his present, and Della showed him the fob chain she had bought for him. She said how she searched every shop to buy it which would suit so excellently his gold watch. And she asked for the gold watch at last. And Jim sat down on the couch and asked Della to put away the Christmas presents. And he had sold the gold watch to buy a Christmas gift for a present for her. So the presents were of no avail, and Jim asked her to give him his chops and forget all about the presents. And both Della and Jim sacrificed their most prized possessions to buy each other a Christmas gift they knew the other would value. And close the story ends with the narrator reflecting on the significance of Della and Jim's sacrifice and the depth of their love. And the story ends with a comparison of Jim and Della's gifts to the gifts that the Magi or the three wise men gave to baby Jesus, infant Jesus. The narrator concludes that Jim and Della are far wiser than the Magi because their gifts are gifts of love, and those who give out of love and self sacrifice are truly wise because they know the value of self giving love. And the story at last ends with a comparison of Jim and Della's gift to the gifts that the Magi or the three wise men gave to infant Jesus. Thank you.